Hello and welcome back to Cali Bros and Cryptos. And we apologize for the delay. I know it's been a few weeks since we've been able to talk, and we've been hearing about it. So here we are. Today we want to talk a little bit about exchanges, the different ways you can buy exchanges. I think the first question a lot of people ask when it comes to crypto is, how do I buy it? So that's what we want to get into a little bit today. Do you want to go kind of give it a little bit of an overview on that, Shane?
Basically, originally when crypto was created, you had miners um, who got the cryptocurrency to be able to go ahead and give out to other people. And now that Bitcoin is, 10, more than 10 years old, 13 years old now, there is not everyone can go ahead and mine cryptocurrency. So in order to be able to buy it or get it other places, um, these miners have to sell to certain entities called exchanges. And there's been a lot of history with really bad exchanges and really bad stuff in the past, but nowadays things have gotten at least a lot more clear as to what companies are reputable, which exchanges are good to use, which ones you probably shouldn't use, and stuff like that. And also just like a little bit of a difference between the exchanges is kind of what we're going to go ahead and explain today. So I'll let you go ahead and take the wheel, Ian, on just kind of explaining. Okay, if I'm a brand new person to cryptocurrency, um, what do I do? Where do I go to buy it?
Sure. Okay. And so the Super Bowl commercial that kind of took the world by storm, you could say, happened, back on the Super Bowl in 2022 here. And it was the Coinbase commercial. Everybody who is dabbling into crypto has probably heard of Coinbase. Now, I'll be honest, I am not on Coinbase at all anymore. I don't know if you are at all, Shane. A little bit.
That's where I started. I started with Coinbase about 6 or 7 years
Likewise.
ago.
Yeah.
Back when they only had three different
Three
coins on the
coins,
exchange.
and you could buy. Oh man, I saw that I had a Bitcoin for one full Bitcoin for like $800 that was on Coinbase, and yeah. So Coinbase, everybody's heard of. It's been around the longest, allegedly, and it is by far the most accessible in the United States, at least. So there's a couple different factors that go into when I want to buy crypto. What do you do? So first of all, like Shane said, you have to go to an exchange unless you're rich enough to buy it over the counter somehow, which usually ends up on a flash drive or some form of ledger or something like that.
Just transferring from wallet to wallet, essentially.
That
It would
too.
be an over-the-counter transaction is basically buying Bitcoin. Someone gives you the Bitcoin, and you give them a lump sum of money, whether it be a wire transfer, whether it be cash, or some form like that. But the typical person doesn't buy Bitcoin that way. They usually buy through an exchange.
Exactly. So first of all, yeah, you have the Coinbase, which is kind of like the Robin Hood of crypto. Now, of course, you have Robinhood now, which has 4 or 5 different cryptocurrencies you can buy. And the problem with Robinhood, so when you typically go onto an exchange like Coinbase, you have a wallet for that, and you own that wallet. Now, it's kind of handed out to you by Coinbase, who technically really owns it, but they're assigning you a wallet for your cryptocurrency that you now own. If you go on something like Robinhood, you don't have that. And what that basically means is, and this is the way I was able to get off Coinbase and Shane was able to get off Coinbase, is that rather than having to sell it and then move that and buy on a different exchange, we can just transfer it to another exchange, which is what we ended up doing. Now, on Robinhood, you can't do that. You can't trade exactly from that location, that exchange, to another exchange. It has to be sold and then withdrawn to a bank account, deposited to a different exchange, and then bought on that exchange. So that's the key. Those are some of the key differences.
And
Sorry.
another thing to keep in mind, that process of selling your your crypto, withdrawing back to your bank account, and then depositing back into another exchange can take up to 5 to 7 days. So
And
if you're
costs more money. Every transfer usually costs. There's fees associated every time you buy or sell on an exchange. So it's kind of like if you take a glass of water and you pour that glass of water into another glass of water and then pour that into another glass, eventually you have less water at the end because you leave residual in a little bit of each of the glasses. It's my little
That's actually a really good way of thinking
my
about
water
it.
analogy.
I like that. Yeah. The more transfers that you have, the less water you end up in the last glass that's there. That's a very good way of thinking of it. So,
Well,
um,
so that's
being able to make just being able to make one simple transaction of, hey, here is my Bitcoin, that's on Coinbase. I'm going to go ahead and move it to Voyager or to Binance or to another exchange that I want to go ahead and use. Just being able to make that one transfer, you're going to end up with more of your money in your pocket.
absolutely. And so to that point, there are a lot of exchanges that have fees. Like Coinbase has fees associated with each trade that you make. Now, you also have a lot of exchanges like Voyager, and we'll get into this a little bit, that don't necessarily have fees, but they take a percentage of the spread, which is where they make the money. Robinhood works that way as well. So it depends on what exchange you're using. A lot of it varies, but I think what's a typical, the typical percentage that they pull?
To tell you the truth, I'm not 100% sure on exactly what percentage it is. I know it's somewhere between 1 and 10%. I know that's kind of a wide range to go ahead and
Yeah,
think of.
I think it's
I
more
would think
towards the one
somewhere
or
probably I
point
would think
0.5.
somewhere closer between like 3 and 5%.
I think it's even less than that. Well, it's in that being, it's a couple percentage points off of the actual price. So if the actual price on the exchange is $10,000 for a coin or a cryptocurrency, that's the actual price. You're going to buy it for a little bit more than that, and you're going to sell it for a little bit less. So that's the spread. So that's kind of
Yeah,
what
yeah.
what we were able to see there. So that's how a lot of exchanges make money. So that's something to keep in mind because if you're on there and you're buying, a lot of the times you're like, wow, no fees, this is fantastic, but you're actually paying more than you would if you were just to pay a flat fee. So like I said, something to keep in mind. Um, so Voyager, getting into that a little bit. That's the exchange I love. Shane loves. We're not sponsored by them. We're not getting paid to talk about it by any means, but we like it because it is very simple. It works like Robinhood the same way. It does charge a small percentage off that spread, um, and it offers a lot of staking abilities. And we'll do staking in a different video. That's a whole other thing. But there's a lot you can do there. And you want to talk about the debit card a little bit that they're pulling in? You're seeing this on a lot of different exchanges too. So this is
Yeah, so
unique.
crypto.com I think was the first, if at least if I can recall, I believe crypto.com was the first exchange in the United States to offer any sort of card to pay with your crypto. But Voyager is doing the same thing. So basically what it allows you to do is it gives you almost everything that a normal bank would have to offer, meaning that you have a card that you can go ahead and spend your money with. You have a routing number where you could go and an account number, which would allow you to be able to go ahead and direct deposit into the account. It would allow you to be able to pay bills with that account. So it offers all of that. But the big difference is that it allows you to be able to put your money into a stable coin, being USDC, and earn a pretty high percentage. Currently, right now, that percent sits at 9% on APY on your money, which is like literally 100 times more than you will get at any United States Bank. Um, I know that the United States is currently in an executive order to go ahead and research some cryptocurrency right now and do some of that research, and maybe stablecoins might you might see some of those percentages either coming down a significant percent or see those going away within the next year or two. But as of right now, I'm taking full advantage of what I can, um, being able to just put my money into stable coins where I'm not risking any any of my money at all, and being able to beat the 7.9% inflation that that our economy has right now with a 9% APY um,
and
increase
and
on
going
my money. So
and going back to stable coins, and we had to explain this to someone not too long ago. Stable coins are stable. They are linked to the dollar in theory. Well, in theory and in practice thus far, we have not seen proven otherwise. In theory, technically, it could differ from the dollar, and it has happened once with Tether, I believe, where it shot down to like 70 cents and then right back up to a dollar within like a day or something like that.
yeah,
So it's they're linked to a dollar. But going back to the exchanges, yeah, you have a lot of different perks from each exchange. So you can find on if you just Google crypto exchanges, you can find hundreds of different types of exchanges. Just to go over a couple, FTX. I have not used it. Have you used it at all?
I have not used FTX now.
Okay, so FTX is one. I'm sure it has its own perks. I guess Tom Brady and LeBron James and people like that are sponsored by them. That's maybe one of the perks. I don't know. So that's very
Okay,
popular.
coin.
OK Coin. I like OK Coin. The staking abilities in there and some of the coins that are offers. That's another big. Sorry,
That's all. Yeah.
that's another really really big factor is that you have to look at where you can buy certain coins. There were a couple coins that I wanted to buy. Star Atlas was one. Miami Coin was another one. I wanted to buy some of those, and I could not find them anywhere except for OKCoin, which in the United States, it's very hard to do that because if you can't buy it on a public exchange like that, you're looking at having to buy it through a MetaMask or something like that, and the fees associated with that are very, very high. From what I've experienced, at least, I'm sure if anybody has a way, otherwise we're looking to learn as much as you guys are. So
Yeah, it will, and part of that just comes within having to transfer coins in and out, like your residual water, um, left in the glass example. Um, Anytime you have to transfer coins from one wallet to another wallet, it is a fee. Um, I mean, you get charged fees on exchanges, and you get charged and a lot of coins, the fees are a lot higher than some of the other coins. Um, and it also just depends on the time of day, the given day, how much volume there is within the market at that time. So, um, I know you can transfer money to like something like Binance. I know Binance is an international, so I mean, technically you would have to go ahead and you're not allowed to
well, here
actually
let's stop real
open
quick.
Binance.
Let's stop real quick and talk about Binance because Binance there's the international one that you have, and then there's Binance US, which I have Binance US, and I actually have like a couple Polkadot on there, nothing huge, but I have a little bit on the exchange there. Now, what I don't like about something like Binance, and you do run into this, I think on like KuCoin and other types of exchanges, is that you have to buy in a cryptocurrency. So that's why Tether was so popular, is that you can't put $500 of US dollars on there and then use that to directly buy a cryptocurrency. You have to either transfer in or purchase immediately a cryptocurrency, and then certain cryptocurrencies, like when Binance US, certain cryptocurrencies have to be purchased in Tether. Others can be purchased with USD. So it gets a little complicated and murky. I'm not a fan of that. That's why I don't really have too much on there. and the staking on Binance is weird. I know you can stake and you can make money on it, but it's confusing to me, so I haven't touched on it too much. But yeah, that's Binance from what I've seen. And we've got OKCoin, Voyager, Robinhood, Coinbase, Binance, FTX, KuCoin. I mentioned KuCoin's nice because you can do options trading on there. I don't mess with options trading. I have about 8 books over here that I need to read before I'll even let myself options trade at all. And even then, it's going to be a tiny bit. Um, I don't know if you've messed around with options trading too much at all.
No, options and leverage. I know about. I know a little bit about technical analysis, and I've been watching people on tech and reading books on technical analysis for the last like 4 years. But I personally, um, I've followed my with my own portfolio, and I've tried to trade via TA, and unfortunately, my own like my fake accounts that I've traded with um, have tanked. So I personally
Me
have
too.
not decided to actually invest any of my money in actual trading. I just invest like I just go ahead and actually invest. When I buy a coin, I plan on holding that
Well,
coin for a significant period of
yeah.
time.
On that note, we should talk about we'll make a different video on the different types of investing, and we'll include trading in that. Just because there is
Not financial advice, by the way.
not
Just
financial, but just wherewithal.
our opinion based off of what we've read and our own education.
Yeah, that's a little disclaimer. So going back, yeah. So you have KuCoin, which, like I said, that's one of the perks of KuCoin is being able to options trade. That is not for beginners at all. Do not touch that if you're just getting into crypto. Do not touch that. So FTX, God, I'm thinking of someone with Uphold. So I will say I like Uphold, and I don't recommend this most of the time, but I do like Uphold because you can actually purchase on with a credit card, and I don't recommend that. But what is nice about it is that it gives you the ability to keep it flat. You can put say you want to put $1,000 on there and then trade it within there. Now you can do recurring purchases on other exchanges, but I know, like for me, I like to have a minimal amount of cash, and I like to pay off my credit card every month. So it just allows budget to circulate a little bit better. And they actually did just introduce staking as well on that. And they have a lot of other things that you can buy. Like you can buy commodities, you can buy oil and golds and things like that on there as well. So that's pretty nice. And actually, something like Brave Browser, we're just using this right now. You can see up in the little corner here. Um, that gets paid out directly to Uphold. So I have like $20 in basic attention token from just using stuff. So they have a lot of integrations as well. So I like Uphold. I'm gonna pull out my phone so because I'm blanking a little bit right now. So actually, and then the other one that I recently started is Choice App, which is an IRA, and I know that there's another one out there like I Trust Capital or something like that.
Yeah, I trust Capital. I know that a lot of YouTubers right now are actually sponsored by I Trust Capital. So
Okay.
a lot of guys that I watch. So
Yeah, so with this, it's a retirement account. So you can invest in crypto, and there's much more than crypto on there too. Um, just pulling it up, looking at this is what it looks like. There you can see my small little tiny portfolio, like $350 in there. I shouldn't say that, but you saw it anyway. Um, so if I go on there and I want to find, you can buy stocks on here. You can buy tons of different types of crypto. And every day, so I'm a big fan. Every day I can go on there and there's a Blinko game that you can play that you actually get free satoshis just for playing it, and it's paid out into your account. I've probably pulled in like $50 worth of satoshis just from doing that. So they're definitely something to keep an eye on if you want to have crypto in a long term investment. Because, like I said, it's a Roth IRA for me. I don't have to pay taxes on that. I can avoid capital gains in the long run. So that's what I like. I don't have a lot in there right now. I'll probably put more in there as time goes on. But that's another app that I definitely like. Um, any other exchanges you can think of you want to touch on?
I think really you've covered everything that at least I can think of. And
Crypto.com, yeah.
just the big thing to go ahead and keep in mind is that if you can't move your money off of the exchange, then technically you do not own the cryptocurrency. I just want to, because there are plenty of stock apps that are out there right now that are offering cryptocurrency trading, but all they're doing is offering the trading. They're not offering the actual full scale decentralized project that cryptocurrency has to offer. They're just offering another stock, which is basically Bitcoin. So they hold the Bitcoin, they set aside the Bitcoin for you, but they don't actually give you the Bitcoin or the Ethereum or the Litecoin or whatever you decided to go ahead and buy. You don't actually physically own it. So just keep that in mind and be cautious about what your goals are. If you're in this for the technology, you want to make sure that you have a crypto or an exchange that is going to allow you to be able to use your cryptocurrency with the technology aspect.
Well, and actually, to that point, then you have the more expensive exchanges, but the completely autonomous exchanges like MetaMask or Uniswap or something like that, where you own that completely. There's no centralization associated with it, and you basically have it. And it basically, imagine like you have your own bank account somewhere that no bank has for you. It's kind of the way I
Yeah.
kind of picture
And
it.
I mean that's another thing to keep in mind too. If you don't trust an exchange to be holding your wallet for you, if you think that that exchange could get hacked, you can always get a hardware wallet. I know I have a hardware wallet. It looks like a little flash drive. I have it in my fireproof safe in my house, and I have about half of everything that I own
I
in
don't know if you can see that.
cryptocurrency. Yeah, right on that particular thing. Now, unfortunately, I can't earn any staking rewards while it's there, but I also know that it cannot be hacked. It cannot be taken away from me. Um, and it's kind of like my bars of gold, except it's only this big rather than, you know, a giant, 10-pound bar of gold or whatever it would be. So,
Exactly. So, in conclusion, like I'm just trying to wrap this up. When you're looking at an exchange, look at a couple different things. Number one, the fees associated with it. Like we were saying, like the glasses of water. How much are you losing every time you transfer money? Because and how often are you going to transfer money? So that's another question. But that's number one is the fees. Number two, like Shane said, do you own it? Is this actually yours that you can look to transfer anywhere else, or does the exchange have it and the only way to get it off the exchange is to pull it right off? And obviously, you have to consider whether or not these matter for you. So that's two. Number three would be the staking rewards. How much do you have the ability to accumulate to beat the CPI and to beat inflation on there in different ways without necessarily having to trade or move it at all? I think that's pretty important. Um, Number four is the choice of coins. What coins are on there? If it's only like Robinhood, four different cryptocurrencies that you're looking at, not a lot of variability. Um, and if something else pops up that you really want to get, you have to open a new account with a new exchange. Um, and I don't like having that many apps on my phone.
I know it stinks. It really stinks. I wish they could go ahead and find a way to be able to put all of the coins on one exchange. Maybe we'll get there at one point, but as of right now, it's kind of just having to pick and choose.
Yeah, and then I mean, are there any other things you can think of? I know, for me, I think that's pretty much. There's a lot of different
That's
little
about it for me
things
too.
you could probably get into. Yeah, like whether or not it has a desktop app, um, or if it's just on the mobile app. There's a lot of different other things you could technically look at, and that's completely up to you. User friendly. I like to have Like Voyager is pretty cool because you can see the tickers on the screen, whereas other exchanges don't necessarily have that. So there's other little things as well. But those are, I think, the main things to consider. So with that being said, anything else you want to chime in with?
Nope, that's about it.
Uh,
Other than make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you smash the like button, and make sure you leave a comment in case we did forget anything that you are still a little bit confused about.
and it's Sunday, so I'm just going to pull a little piano Matty B there. But sing us out, Shane.
All right. Cali Bros and Cryptos out. Have a wonderful day.